In any kind of relationship where there's a man and a woman and they are intimately involved or trying to be intimately involved, or they're working towards being in a relationship, and the woman starts to exhibit behaviors that exude this sense of her trying to change the man so that the man can fit her desires and her needs. Usually what happens is that they're doing this out of their own self-interest, and they're usually doing it because, number one, they don't see the man as attractive as he wants to believe that he is to the woman, or because the woman sees some kind of form of utility that if she builds up, quote unquote, the man in a certain way, she'll be able to get something from him. Now, on the flip side, there are women that actually want to nourish the man. Okay, there are women who actually want to make sure that the man is going to be living out his life to the fullest. And a woman that doesn't push you to be your best, I would say, is a woman you don't really want around anyway. However, if nothing really feels like it's enough, like you're doing everything that you can, and for some reason it's just not enough, it's probably not a compatibility. It's probably a compatibility issue, and you're not compatible. But when it comes to the friend zone too, this is something that also happens with women, and usually only the types of women that will want to put you in the friend zone are attention seekers or women like I just described. And if you happen to get put in the friend zone by an attention seeker and you refuse the friend zone, some of these attention seekers might hold a grudge. Okay, they might hold a grudge. Other women will respect it, and they'll actually like that you don't. Like, they'll actually probably find you more attractive when you don't allow yourself to be in the friend zone. And they might obsess over you actually as well. I've had this happen to me multiple times where I've told a woman, I have compassion for you, but I don't think we're compatible. And the woman doesn't know what to do with herself. I literally had one woman a while back, and she was probably 23, maybe 24, maybe 22, I don't know. And I told her that exactly, and she said, no man has ever told me no before. Can you imagine? This is the way I think about it. It's like, can you imagine walking the earth for 2 decades, never being told no? As a man, that happens so often, like, we don't even think about it. It doesn't even faze us. We just go on to like, a real man will just be able to move on. A male can't move on, but a man is going to be able to just, all right, he's going to keep his dignity and walk away. He's going to keep his integrity and walk away, because you're moving with integrity when you act like this. When you refuse the friend zone, if you want something more as a man, and she might be playfully teasing you or whatnot, like she might make it seem like she doesn't want you as much as she actually does. And that's a little bit, that's okay to some degree, because at least you understand that the woman is, she's not necessarily playing hard to get, but a woman that's not really a bit of a challenge to some degree, like if she's just, too easy, it's like, okay, well, how like, because it's kind of a litmus test, right? But at the same time, a woman that makes things too difficult, like, I've had genuine desire for women, or with women and for women, but with women, and they've had genuine desire for me, and things have been super easy, super simple, super easy. But then the ones that are, they do want me, they do have desire for me, but they don't want to be seen as easy. That's when, they'll start to play certain, it's not even like a game that they're playing all the time, it's just that they're not an easy person to captivate. But refusing the friend zone is going to put you in a bracket where most other men just never see. Because if a woman friend zones a man and the man wants more, usually in our day and age, men are just going to stick around because they don't know what to do with themselves otherwise. They don't know how to handle, they think that being around and sticking around is going to lead them eventually, like, oh, maybe she'll feel sorry enough for me someday that she, wants to get with me. And that's exactly the wrong kind of mindset to have. And a lot of men will not admit that this is their mindset. But because they'll say, it's all about looks, it's all about status. Oh, she, it's like, well, it is, but it isn't. It comes from your internal strength. And it comes from who you are as a person and what you're able to do with the kinds of resources that are possible for you. Like if you can create resources on the fly, like we as men are meant to be able to tame the beast of chaos, right? We're supposed to be able to go out into the wild because we're wild ourselves, right? We're able to go out into the wild and slay the dragon of chaos. And you can think about that as like the snake, right? That's like the ultimate archetypal form of how to, slay the beast, is killing the snake that's in the trees, right? Or that's trying to take the family or whatever. Snakes are very interesting creatures because they represent wisdom, but they also represent, these forms of, darkness and the dark side of things. And I think a lot of the times when you're spiritually inclined, you're going to be able to see this snake-like quality in a woman if you look into her eyes. And I think that women who have this snake-like quality are usually going to try to lead the relationship. Because this woman might talk about equality, let's say, but deep down, it's not about equality for her. She wants power because that's just the way that some of these women are. They don't think that submitting to a man is proper. That's why some of these women will hold grudges against you, because the women that hold grudges against you that are attention seekers, that likely have had to become masculine, so masculine that they can't they can't be feminine anymore, right? They just don't know how to because it's been so ingrained in their mind to be masculine. And it's not an easy thing to go out there and make stuff in the world, like make things happen in the world, right? And especially as a woman, like people think that and we're taught in our matriarchal society that, to be a career woman, to go out there and do this stuff, it's hard. It's like, are you kidding me? Have you ever met a sales lady that was a reasonably attractive woman? She doesn't even have to be reasonably attractive. She just needs to be an average looking woman. Have you seen a saleswoman that's like this? I guarantee you, she will make more sales as an average looking woman who doesn't even need to do anything crazy. She just needs to flirt a little bit with the people that she's talking to, specifically the men, because men are going to be more willing to buy. And it's a wrap, man. Like, it's a wrap. Are you kidding me? The best salespeople ever that I've ever worked with in my professional life have always been women. It's never been the men. The men are definitely great, yeah, but like, and there's really great salesmen, like really top-notch salesmen that I've seen, but they don't make, they're not capable of the consistency in which a woman, a female, with just average looking looks could make in sales. Like, it's really not that hard. And so they want to believe that like all of these things are difficult and all that. And I'm not saying that it always is going to be the case that it's going to be easy, but man, are you kidding? Like, the world is made for women right now. The world is not made for men. And that's why, as a man, if you refuse the friend zone, what you're actually doing is, on an archetypal scale, like on a collective conscious scale, you're saying to the matriarchy system, when you refuse the friend zone, you're saying, I refuse to let the image and the eternal image of women try to control how I express my sexuality. That's what you're saying, okay? And a lot of people don't want to believe that this is actually the case. And I like to talk about the deeper side of these kinds of things towards the, after the end, the beginning of the video, and more towards the tail end, because the people that are sticking around, I think, deserve to hear this part, because, well, you stuck around. And so when you refuse to bend the knee to the eternal image of womanhood, and you say, look, no, I'm gonna express my sexuality the way that I want, because I accept who I am. I accept who I am, and I'm gonna express who I am. And I'm not here to tell you how to express your masculinity. That's entirely up for you to decide if you're a man watching this. And even if you're a woman watching this, I'm not trying to tell you how to express your femininity. But I'm just saying that this is what I usually see in my experiences, and what I've seen generally speaking, and how in the community what I see happening. But, because I don't talk from platitudes or what I've seen online. It's like, I look at my life and I see what's working and I see what's not working, and then I make adjustments from there. And then I do my best to provide value based on those experiences, because I think that trusting your experience is going to be very important. And so if a woman, like when you express interest in a woman, sexual desire in a woman, and maybe she laughs a little bit and she giggles and then she kind of playfully banters back at you, that's okay. That's a good sign. But if she just kind of laughs at you and she tries to lead, she tries to take control of the situation, something's going on. She either is attracted to you and is scared of how much she's attracted to you, and because of her conditioning, she doesn't want to let go of that power. Or number two, she sees that, like, she still sees that there's some kind of ulterior motive that is going to be involved here, and she wants to build you up continually so that she can extract the benefits down the line. So what I'm saying is that if you're sexually interested in a woman, it's a bit windy today, but if you're sexually interested in a woman, you don't, like, there's nothing wrong with expressing that. And especially, like, if you're a godly person, I think the most appropriate and healthy way to go about this is, yeah, like, I desire you, but because of my principles, because of my beliefs, I'm not going to make certain moves on you. And I'm going to make that clear, because we live in a freaking degenerate society where everybody's hooking up all the time. And so it's like, I want to make it clear that I'm attracted to you, but I'm not going to make certain moves on you because of my beliefs, because of my principles. And I think that's a healthy approach. And if the woman can respond well to that, and she can still flirt back, you know, she can still be a little bit flirtatious, but she's not crossing the line, you're not crossing the line, I think that's okay. I think it's okay. But ultimately, you need to refuse the friend zone. Like, this will give you more power, and people will become obsessed with you. Like, it's not just for men, right? This is for women. If there are women out there watching this, and you're interested in a guy, I don't think that it's a bad thing to express that. But I also don't think that, you know, be overtly sexual about it. It's not gonna, like, that's not gonna be good. But, you know, you can let him know that you're interested. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, most men will probably respond very well to it. But overall, I think refusing the friend zone, no matter who you are, no matter what you want, because if you're wanting more from the person, I think refusing the friend zone is always going to be a good route to take if you're interested in something more. Because that shows that you're standing on principle, and you have dignity, and you're walking with integrity. So, with all that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful for you. If you do want to join the godly community, the Regal Change Academy that we have, the group and online school, check out the links in the description box below. And if you want to do a one-on-one session with me, feel free to reach out to me at my email at Gmail. It's theregalchange@gmail.com. I think I'm going to hit the gym, maybe get some grocery shopping in, and then it'll be working the rest of the day. We are finishing up the Prince class series, and we're finishing that up today in the Regal Change Academy, and there's going to be another class series in a couple weeks. I'll be making an announcement about that here in a few days. But otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, peace be with you. Until next time.